It can feel exactly like awakening, only it's the ego wearing a new costume. You sit in meditation and the world softens. There is a taste of freedom, a thinning of the inner chatter, a subtle elation that feels like arriving. That sense of arrival is the very thing to watch. The ego's final trick on the spiritual path is to adopt the language, the poise, and even the silences of awakening so convincingly that you begin to trust the disguise. Think back to the earlier stages of the path. The motives are familiar, wanting to succeed, to be seen as advanced, to control experience so that discomfort avoids you. Maybe you practiced so you wouldn't feel small, or you volunteered your knowledge to be admired, or you pursued experiences that confirmed you were on the right track. These are ordinary ego moves. They are blunt and obvious. You can spot them in yourself and in others because they demand outcomes, praise, safety, superiority. And then something shifts. The practice softens the sharp edges. Anger becomes gentler, craving recedes, the old compulsions quiet. This is real change. Yet here is the subtle pivot. The ego, never extinct, learns to wear spirituality as camouflage. Where it once wanted power, it now wants purity. Where it once wanted applause, it now wants recognition as a spiritual person. Where it once chased pleasure, it now chases depth or silence. The goal changes, but the pattern, seeking a certain identity, remains. You'll notice this in small ways. Someone at a retreat compares their sensations to yours and notes how much deeper their practice is. A thought appears. I must be further along than them. Another seeker frames their discouragement as humility. I'm still small. Yet the tone betrays a secret satisfaction in being humble. Or you may find yourself guarding silence like a badge, or quickly dismissing others' concerns because they don't sound refined enough. These are signs the mask is working, spiritual forms housing the same old wanting. Ramana Maharshi warned about this. He said, "The ego does not leave easily. It disguises itself." And he gave a further caution that cuts to the heart of the matter. As long as there is someone who claims progress, the ego is still present. Take those lines as a sober mirror, not a condemnation. The point is simple. Claiming progress is itself an action of the self that thinks it has arrived. That very claiming is the evidence you need that something is still operating. So, what to do? The instruction of self-inquiry, as taught by Ramana and practiced across traditions, is less a technique for becoming better and more an instrument of exposure. It is a light focused on the one who claims to be meditating, the I that says, I have changed, or I am awake. The method is not about producing a deeper state. It is about asking the question with honest attention. Who is it that claims to be progressing? Try this small, precise inquiry. Sit quietly. Bring to mind a recent thought. I am making progress, or I experience stillness. Gently ask, with curiosity rather than force, who says this? Or, where is the I that claims this? Don't search for a philosophical answer. Watch. Notice what arises. Sensations, images, memories, a voice. What you will usually find is not a solid, unchanging self, but a movement. Thoughts appearing and passing, impulses, feelings. There is activity, but no compact owner behind it. Here's the smallest test that reveals the trick. Ask yourself right now, who is aware of this thought? Look into that claim of awareness. If something definite stands up and says, it is I, watch it closely. Does it have edges, a face, a narrative, or is it more like a gesture, a pointing, without a permanent substance? In many sincere seekers, the honest inspection exposes an absence, or at least a fragility, where previously there seemed to be substance. Expect an honest reaction, confusion, unease, perhaps even disappointment. Those feelings are not failures, they are indicators. When the mask begins to tear, the familiar ground gives way and you feel unmoored. That disorientation can feel like regression, and many stop there, interpreting the discomfort as evidence that nothing is happening. Yet precisely that discomfort often marks a breakthrough in clarity. It means the neat story you use to tell about yourself is losing credibility. Do not mistake humility as a spiritual trophy. Do not mistake confusion as proof of failure. Both humility and confusion can be either genuine or performative. The measure is honesty. Is your tone one of defensive modesty or one of real openness? Are you clinging to an identity, this time as a humble seeker? Or are you willing to let even that go under investigation? The practical consequence of this teaching is gentle but demanding. Keep practicing inquiry as exposure. Whenever a declaration arises, I'm more mature now, I've arrived, I'm finally free, turn the question inward. Who claims this? Let yourself be a beginner again in the sense of curiosity, not competence. Allow the thought to come and ask it to show its source. Over time, the activity that once posed as a fixed self loses its grip. You'll notice moments of rest that are not produced by striving. These are not achievements to be cataloged. They are pointers. Remember a final paradox. Silence is not something you attain and then possess. It remains when effort drops. The path is not a ladder to be climbed so an ego can stand on the top and announce victory. Maturity in the inquiry looks like simplicity. Fewer stances, less performance, and a softening of the need to prove anything. That softening is humble and unadorned. It is not glamorous, but it is honest. If this resonates, pause for a moment and notice what stirs when you consider the question, who says I am progressing? Let that noticing be the practice for this week. Quiet attention without agenda. Then if you find these inquiries helpful, consider subscribing for more explorations like this. Before you go, a brief invitation. Sit for 3 minutes. Bring to mind a recent thought where you felt, I am doing well, or I am awake. Ask gently, who says this? Watch without creating an answer. Notice the textures, voices, images, sensations, and notice whether anything solid claims ownership. Let confusion be a companion rather than a verdict. When you rise, remember, the silence that remains when effort drops is not a trophy. It is the natural weather of clarity. If you found this useful, subscribe and return. There are more simple inquiries ahead.